The alien Victor Wembanyama held his own against Milwaukee Bucks and Giannis Antetokounmpo last night. And then we also had the Nuggets and the Celtics games both come down to the wire. And of course, we'll discuss the rest of the games that occurred last night right after the intro.
Welcome to the number one place for your daily basketball news and analysis, NBA Central.
All right, basketball fans, welcome to another episode of NBA Central. It is your boy, Big Kev, holding it down for the gang. 7 games of NBA action last night. We're going to get into all of it, but of course, this is your number one spot for all things NBA basketball related. Y'all already know what it is, man. Trade deadline is coming up, so be on the lookout for us on Thursday. Live action all day. We'll be keeping up with what's happening, so be ready Thursday for any news to drop. We're going to be right here on NBA Central, and of course, we'll do a live episode at the trade deadline at 3 p.m. Eastern on Thursday afternoon. Last night, Victor Wembanyama went crazy versus the Milwaukee Bucks. It's always fun to see the next big thing going up against one of the OGs, and of course, right now Giannis is one of the OGs now. Him and Victor went at it. Victor Wembanyama with 30 points, 14 rebounds, 1 assist. Giannis with 35 points, 14 rebounds, 6 assists. He's having an MVP caliber season himself. But the Spurs get the win in San Antonio over a Bucks team that's been playing pretty good lately, 144-118. And listen, it was a blowout. I usually don't really go too deep into blowout games, but because of the matchup, I had to. The Bucks just needed more from Damian Lillard, for example, who only went 6 for 17 with 22 points. Andre Jackson, 3 for 7 with 7 points. Brook Lopez is just crashing down to earth lately. 3 points. Three made baskets, only 6 points for him, and they didn't get anything from their bench, well, with the exception of maybe Pat Connaughton. But listen, your boy Victor Wembanyama started the season off pretty slow, and I still think he takes too many threes, but he does need to play within the Florida offense, and sometimes that's going to lead to you taking the 10-plus threes. Like yesterday, for example, he made 11 threes, but he shot five. He made 5 threes, but only took 11. The games where I see him taking 15, 16, 19 threes, those are the ones where I'm really like, oh, come on, dude, attack the basket more. And he still shot more threes than twos yesterday as well. I would like to see him attack the basket more, but 30 points and 14 rebounds versus Giannis and Brook Lopez is nothing to sneeze at. Stephon Castle is having himself a great season with 20 points last night, 6 assists, 4 rebounds, and I think he's in the dunk contest as well. So starting as a rookie, not mad at it. The dude is doing his thing. And then you had Chris Paul last night with 12 points and 9 assists to kind of steady the pace for these guys. And Keldon Johnson came off the bench and gave them 24 points on 10 of 15 from the field, 4 or 5 from 3, 2 assists, 4 rebounds, a steady force off the bench. The bench in general for the San Antonio Spurs just held Milwaukee at bay. Everybody that played scored except for City Sissoko. But other than that, man, listen, the San Antonio Spurs are one of those teams that can sneak into the play-in tournament. And if you're not careful, they can sneak into the playoffs and give you a run for your money as one of those 7 or 8 seeds. So, hey, listen, it's going to be a fun team to watch for the rest of the season, a very interesting team to watch. It would be good to see Victor Wembanyama get early career playoff experience. Not one of those teams that he struggles and struggles and struggles like, let's say, AD did for most of his career over in New Orleans. Let's see the San Antonio Spurs get to a point where they're starting to become a playoff team early in his career, and go from there and start to woo some free agents over to San Antonio. That'll be fun to see. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from Victor Wembanyama lately, as opposed to how the season started for him. So a couple of other games around the league, the Chicago Bulls took care of business versus the Toronto Raptors, 122-106. And it was an all-around game last night with Matas Buzelis shining off the bench. As you know, in his rookie season, he's been getting up and down numbers from Billy Donovan, but Vucevic with his typical double-double, 21 and 12. Kobe White rounding back into form, 25 points and 6 assists. And then Josh Giddey with 15 points, 6 assists, 6 assists and 7 rebounds. But the bench, Jalen Smith, Patrick Williams, Dalen Terry, and Matas Buzelis all scored double digits for the Chicago Bulls. So that was a fun game to watch as, as a Bulls fan here in Chicago. We need to see them win more games. The Clippers took care of business versus the Hornets last night. The Hornets, of course, are without LaMelo. Everybody's up in arms and complaining about him not making the All-Star game. But I think you got to be on a better team, first of all, to make the All-Star team. And you got to play games. He's been injured in and out of the lineup all season long. The Clippers were basically paced by Norman Powell, 11 for 15 from the field, 27 points, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He could have been an all-star this season himself. They gave it to Williams over on Oklahoma City, but it could have easily been Norman Powell as a reserve. And if anybody gets injured, don't be surprised if you see Norman Powell on the team, on the All-Star team as a reserve, man, because he's playing really, really good basketball for the Los Angeles Clippers. Shout out to them for, weathering the storm again of Kawhi Leonard being in and out of the lineup. And then the Mavericks and Pistons, Cade Cunningham had a big night, 40 points. The Mavericks lose 102 to 117, but Cade Cunningham is a stud, man. Like, of course, he was the number one overall pick a couple years ago, and he struggled on a really bad Pistons team. But the new coach, a couple of these veterans that they brought over, and Tim Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris, and then you got Malik Beasley off the bench. Now this team is a team to watch. They're at 500, 24 and 24 on the season. Cade Cunningham, 17 for 30 from the field, 3 for 8 from three, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 40 points. What a game. What a game from this young kid who is now an all-star, played his way into all-star form this season. And I like what I see. We knew what he could do in college, but hey, now he's stepping it up and giving it to you on an NBA level. And you can't not say that it's not fun to see. I heard Hayes saying the other day that some people say that Josh Giddey is on the same level as Cade Cunningham. And whoever said that need to be smacked hard, like really, really hard, across the face, punched in the stomach, tripped down the stairs, whatever it is to cause bodily harm to this guy. Because, like, what are you talking about? Cade Cunningham and Josh Giddey are two way different type of players. And honestly, Cade Cunningham has always been a better scorer than Josh Giddey. Let's stop playing games, bro. Saying that they're even is ridiculous. Ridiculous for sure. All right, the other game that we're highlighting is the Celtics versus the Pelicans, and the Pelicans have been playing really good basketball lately, and they've played the Celtics pretty tough all season. In the two matchups that they've had, I think the Pelicans lost the first game by 1 point in Boston, and last night they lost by 2 points by the tune of 118 to 116, thanks to Jason Tatum hitting a fadeaway jumper with a .2 seconds left in the game to ice it for the Boston Celtics, who needed to win. They needed to win. They've been kind of up and down over the last 10 games or so, but you had basically everybody who started, with the exception of Drew Holiday, to contribute mightily in this game. Jason Tatum with the game winner, 27 points, 10 assists, which is one of his unsung talents. People don't talk about his assist game enough, but he did have 6 rebounds as well. And then you had Jaylen Brown with 28 points and 4 assists and 6 rebounds. Kristaps and Derek White gave you 16 points apiece. And of course, Kristaps had 4 blocks. That dude is something else in paint. He's a strong rim protector. And then Luke Cornett off the bench gave you 11 points, a block and a steal. I remember he was on the Bulls. He didn't get the Bulls nothing. He's over there playing on the championship team, taking care of business. But yeah, they had a strong fight against New Orleans came in ready to play. Trey Murphy the third with 40 points. He did his thing last night. 15 to 20 from the field, 8 for 12 from 3, 40 points. Like, he did everything he could to win last night, and it was unfortunate to see them lose that game. Javante Green with only 6. He was a starter. Yves Missy with 6 points. He was starting last night. As you can tell, they just on their 30th starting rotation of the season. It's been tough to see New Orleans, who won 50 games last year, to come into this season with higher expectations and struggle thanks to lots of injuries, including this guy, DeJounte Murray, who only played 8 minutes last night, 2 of 6 from the field, 4 points, got injured again. Like, you got, you know, Zion Williamson is injured. Listen, it's so sad. Real quick, as I look up what happened to DeJounte Murray. Um, it's so sad to see what's happening to these guys because they have a solid squad. They have a solid squad, but unfortunately for them, injuries keep on. Oh, he tore his Achilles. He's out. He's done for the rest of the season. Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy. Out for the rest of the season. So these guys are just injury riddled. You can pretty much lock them in for a top 10 pick now. You can just do it because it's tough. It's tough to see, man. Zion Williamson is injured. Herb Jones is injured. Brandon Ingram is injured, and now Murray is out for the season. He was injured earlier in the season too. Just got him back in December, and now he's gone for the season. Tearing your Achilles is just it's nasty work. So we're praying for him. But hey, the Celtics definitely tried their. I mean, the Pelicans tried their best to come back and beat the Celtics, and they just couldn't get it done. They couldn't get it done. One more game around the association last night was the Suns and Warriors, and the Phoenix Suns took care of business versus the Warriors. 130 to 105 was the final score, and it was actually a pretty fun game to watch. KD kind of having a revenge game, so to speak, but Devin Booker, who considered himself to be a snub, he just did not go away last night. He didn't care what Steph Curry was talking about. He had 31 points, and 12 for 23 for the field. It's crazy. 11 assists as well. Another player who gets more assists than people give him credit for. And then their bench came in. Bradley Beal had a really solid game off the bench. 9 for 12 from the field, 21 points. So listen, and KD with 19 points on 6 for 13. And on the other side, Steph Curry struggled. 1 for 6 from three. Couldn't turn it on. 5 for 14 from the field. Andrew Wiggins 6 for 20 from the field. And we have an effort like that from their two go-to scorers, you're going to lose the game. 30 points combined means that Devin Booker outscored both of them by himself. Moses Moody and Pods came off the bench and gave you some effort, 17 and 14 respectively. But it wasn't enough. And Golden State was at home. There's a point where Golden State was just like unbeatable at home. But one of my guys texted me last night as the game was going on. He said, "Hey, that Golden State magic is just gone now," and that's true. They don't have that ability to just turn it on in the third quarter like they used to. Maybe, just maybe, trading away their man Klay Thompson hurt them more than they thought it would. They don't have that third scorer that they need on this team, and unfortunately, given Draymond Green that $100 million 4-year contract was still crazy to me when they did it. They should have let him go and held on to the second Splash brother. And losing Jordan Poole hurt them more than they thought it would too. So that's what's happening with Golden State, man. They're a 500 team. They'll probably make the play in, but I doubt they'll win a first round matchup. And the last game of the night that we're going to talk about is the Denver Nuggets versus the 76ers. The Denver Nuggets needed everything in their tank to defeat a depleted, as always, depleted Philadelphia 76ers team. Um, Tyrese Maxey, and I'm not sure how he didn't make the All-Star game, which is it's just crazy to be because he's been on a tear. He put up 42 points last night. Another game of 30 plus. I think this is like I know he's in double digits now. I don't know. That was Tyrese Maxey with 42 points, 15 to 26 from the field, 6-11 from three. Again, I'll say this again. He had 9 assists too, but I did not see this coming out of college for this kid. Like I did not see him becoming a perennial All Star and honestly putting up the type of numbers that he's putting up. But when you don't have the process, Joel Embiid, when you don't have Paul George, somebody got to step up, and he's done so admirably. Old school Eric Gordon went out there and put up double digits, didn't miss a shot, 4 for 4 from the field, 3 for 3 from three, 11 points for him. Ubaselli, he's a godsend for these guys at center. He had 28 points and 7 rebounds, and then Kelly Oubre Jr., who's a microwave, 27 points for him and 5 assists, and then Justin Edwards with 9 points, and then off the bench you have Ricky Council with 10 points. Listen, good game from the Philadelphia 76ers. They just cannot overcome Jamal Murray's pacing, Michael Porter Jr. shooting, and of course Nikola Jokic with almost another triple-double. Michael Porter had 24 points, 10 for 14 from the field, 6 rebounds from him. Aaron Gordon working his way back from injury, 11 points from him. Nikola Jokic with 28 points, 13 assists, and 9 rebounds, and 2 steals as well. And then Jamal Murray with a double-double himself, 31 points and 11 rebounds. And off the bench, I mean, no, Russell Westbrook started, but he only had 4 points. Didn't do much. 2 for 3 from the field, 7 assists though, and 2 steals. And then off the bench, Christian Brown, who had been playing really well as a starter, with 15 points, and Strother with 18 points off the bench as well. So and they needed everything that they got. But Jamal Murray was pretty much the reason why they won this game, hitting big basket after big basket down the stretch. The Denver Nuggets in their 3-game losing streak. That was a season-long losing streak for them. But again, the Nuggets are that type of team that remind me of the old school San Antonio Spurs type of team that'll literally win 50 games without you even noticing and find themselves in the Western Conference Finals at the end of the season. So real quick update on the standings. The Cleveland Cavaliers still have, if I'm not mistaken, the best record in the league right now at 39-9. And then you have Boston Celtics at 34-15. The Knicks at 32-16. The Knicks were trying to catch the Celtics and overtake the Atlantic Division. Milwaukee and Indiana are fighting for the Central Division at 26-20 apiece. And then here comes the Pistons. They're in the running for the Central Division as well at 24-24. Miami at 23-23. That's I don't really do the play-in tournament teams, not yet. We'll get back to them later in the season. And out west, you got Oklahoma City at 37-9 with the second best record in the league. Houston at 32-15. Memphis at 32-16, and then you got Denver at 29-19. The Lakers at 27-19, and the Clippers at 28-20. So of course, the Western Conference is a jumbled mess, as it always is every single season. And later on tonight, we have quite a few games around the association. Starting early today, actually, since it's Saturday. You'll see some early afternoon games at 4 p.m. Central. The Magic versus the Jazz. And then you also have the Hawks and Pacers. And then later on this evening, you got the Nuggets versus the Hornets, the Kings versus Thunder. And you also have the Wizards versus the Timberwolves, and the Nets versus the Rockets, the Heat versus the Spurs, and the Lakers versus Knicks should be a good game. That's going to be on ABC, and the Suns versus Blazer. That's going to be a fun NBA night tonight. It's your boy, Big Kev. We're going to holler at you guys next time, man. Don't forget to follow the rest of the Chi-Town Sports Central family. Type in your favorite Chicago sports team and put the word Central behind it, and you'll find one of us available. And then, of course, you got the Shot Bulls podcast with the Cognac Boys, and on the horizon, NFL Central. That's going to be fun. All right, we'll holler at you guys next time. Peace.
This has been a